In this question 2024, you are given a diagram of a circuit breaker, but you realize that this circuit breaker is slightly different and there are actually two electromagnets here, the two solenoid here, which is rather different, and the structure is a bit different also. You have to understand how it works before you can start explaining. Now this is a kettle, so maybe to help you visualize, let's complete the circuit breaker, the linkage to the kettle. So this is like the live wire going to the heating element of the kettle, and then it will come back by the neutral wire. And because it's stated that there's a earth wire that's connected to the metal casing, so you can connect a earth wire to the ground. Maybe let's start with the first part of the question first, which is quite straightforward. And they ask you what is the current in the neutral and earth wire when the appliances is working, operating normally. That means to say there's no electrical fault. So if the current flowing in from the live wire will be 5 ampere, so the current that's flowing out will also be 5 ampere. Okay, and since there won't be any leakage or whatever, the current flowing through the earth wire will be 0 and the neutral wire will be 5. So very straightforward. So the next part of the question, a fault occurs and the live wire touch the metal casing. So you understand that there will be a short circuit. Current will flow through the earth wire and to the ground due to its low resistance path. The contact separates and the kettle switches off. So explain why the contacts separate when the fault occurs. Now, as mentioned, this because the diagram given to you is slightly different, you have to understand this in order to explain. So let's assume there's a electrical fault where the live wire touch the metal casing, it will become live at 240. And how will the short circuit current flow through? So it will flow through the live wire, through this path, through this solenoid, and then through the live wire of the electrical appliances, go to the metal casing and down into the earth by the earth wire because of its low resistance. That is one key point that you need to write down in your answer. Earth wire is low resistance, so all the current will choose to flow through there. So you can see over here, the current is flowing through and current is flowing through this solenoid when the fault occurs, and there's no current flowing through this left side of the solenoid. So if you understand that, you should actually mention that when the short circuit current flow through, the current is very high, this solenoid will be more strongly magnetized. Now, same thing, you do not mention that this solenoid will now be magnetized because previously when 5 ampere current flow through and is working normally, both are already magnetized, remember? It's just that now with a fault, the current short circuit current flow through here, it will be more strongly magnetized and it is strong enough to attract the iron rod. Okay, use the words in the question. And remember, because it's going to turn, you must understand that it will turn clockwise and then it pushes up the contact, and then the contact now will be open, and you basically will cut off the current, you will break the circuit. So you should know, if you understand this, you should know that you must not write that the clockwise moment due to the right solenoid is greater than the anti-clockwise, because by right, there shouldn't be any current flowing through here. There's no force acting on the iron rod by this solenoid on the left. Now, the last thing that I want to talk about is, it's not asked in the question, but if everything is working fine and the question asks you the number of turns on the left solenoid and the right solenoid, which one will be higher number? And I hope you understand that you should know that the left hand side should have slightly higher number of turns, is because when the 5 ampere were to flow through within the limit, this side has to be slightly, in general, has to be slightly stronger in its magnetic field strength, so as to make sure that the iron rod is being pulled down so that the contact will be closed, always remain closed when the current is within the limit. All right. So, I mean, if they ask, I hope you will know how to answer. So same thing, if you want the suggested answer, you click on the link in the description below. All right, thank you.